Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's just me today. Cody is gone for work. If you're new here, this is the Zilinski life, where me and my husband Cody share our personal finance journey to paying down debt, building up our net worth, and just creating some financial stability here and hopefully retiring before we die. The budgeting app that we use is called YNAB. You need a budget, and today we're just doing our January spending recap, where we're going to go into our reports and see what money came in, what money went out, and how we did. So it's the first month of 2025, and I feel like we are off to a rockin' start, because years past, January and February typically are the hardest months for us financially, because we don't have a lot of money coming in and the expenses are just piling up and it's just a bit of a nightmare. And this year, I feel like we made really good progress. So let's go through it here. Starting off with our income sources, we had an Amazon refund, our carbon tax rebate, which comes in quarterly, our monthly childcare benefit, Cody's employment income, a little bit of interest, and some miscellaneous income. So our total inflows this month were $6,887.91, which is pretty typical for us. It's pretty on par. And this is how we spent it. So when I did my, chopping the budget down to save a bunch of money, I knocked off like $900 a month. And in that, I also made sure that any spending that we spent on the kids came strictly out of the kids' money. So you'll see here the CCB is $592 and we spent $591. So the idea being that the money that comes in for the kids is allocated 100% just to the kids, and then that way we're not dependent on that money in our regular budget. So that got spent on childcare. This is actually going to be increasing in April. The government of Alberta last year, was it last year? No, it was a few years ago now. They started subsidizing daycare, and it brought the cost down, like way down. $270 is what we pay for both of our kids in daycare full time, which is amazing. But it's creating some confusion as well, because some daycares are still charging a lot more. Like I have friends who are paying, $600 plus a month just for one kid in daycare with all the subsidies. And then I have other friends who are paying $100 a month. So starting in April, it's going to go to a flat rate. I think it was $326 per month per child. So ours would increase to about $650 a month, roughly. And at that point, I think we're probably just going to pull the kids out of daycare. They're going to stay home full time with me. And I will just kind of rearrange my working schedule to work, after they go to bed for the night or during nap time. So, but for now, this is where it's at. Gunnar spent a little bit of money, and Freya spent a little bit of money as well. This was like, they went to Walmart and they wanted some toys, or I think there was like a Build-A-Bear thing or something in here. I can't click on it to see what it is out of this report, but clothing was a little expensive this month because we started potty training Gunnar, so we needed to get a ton of underwear for him, because if you've never potty trained a child before, there's going to be a lot of messes, and that also meant we had to buy more pants. So Freya got a couple pairs of pants, Gunnar got about 4 pairs of pants, and I think 36 pairs of underwear. And pretty much all of this we went to a secondhand used store, so I feel like we did pretty good there. Diapers and wipes. We bought diapers at the start of this month, not intending to potty train him this month, and it just kind of happened that way. So we spent $50 on diapers and wipes, and now we don't need them. So this line will come out of the budget going forward. Entertainment was $68. This was things like iPad subscriptions to games that they like to play, a couple shows that they wanted to buy. So that came out of here. And then homeschool fund, this was like watercolor paints and watercolor paper and stuff like that for the kids to do crafts at home. So we stayed within our budget of the $592. So I'm quite happy with that. I think that looks good. Coming up to bills, our total bills for the month were just under $5,000. There was our rent and our life insurance. That is the same every month. That doesn't change. Our Bell bill was really high. We upgraded our phones back in November. And when we upgraded our phones, we paid the big bill off in full. The bill came in, it was like $1,600. We made sure we had the money for it. We paid it off. I didn't realize that there was still more to be paid after that. Because they tell you, like, upgrade your phone and pay this balance. And then what they don't tell you is there's extra charges after that. So that charge got thrown onto this month's bill, and we were not prepared for it. So this is actually sitting on the credit card right now, which is why you see that we're over budget by $1,000, because I only had enough to pay the regular phone bill. So anyways, that'll get paid off in February. I'm not too worried about it. We shouldn't get hit with interest or anything. It'll get paid off before then. It just sucks. Our internet bill, this is for internet and home security, and that's the same every month. So is our consumer proposal and our car loan. Those don't change. The gym doesn't change either. Our EPCOR bill, which is heat, water, and power for the house that we're living in. This has kind of been creeping up month by month, which is to be expected. It's actually been really warm lately, but we did go through a cold snap the month that this bill came through, and then the bill for the following month went up to $413, I think. And then it should start going back down again after that. Auto insurance, this is the same every month. The Rogers bill, it's the same every month. The ditto kind of fluctuates depending on what we need, what our customer orders are that are going through, that kind of stuff. But that was still all within range, all within budget. And I feel good about how all that went. Subscriptions, if you guys, I don't know if you'll remember, but our subscriptions used to be like $200 a month. It was getting insane. I don't think we realize how much we spend on subscriptions every month. So this is what our subscriptions were in January. We canceled Spotify, we canceled Netflix, we canceled, I can't remember, we canceled a bunch of stuff. Hold on, I gotta look at the Budget Mom planner, because I had written them all out when I set up the planner. And then we went through and canceled a bunch of things, because I was like, I feel like this is way too much that we're paying for here. Okay, we canceled Instacart. We didn't cancel YNAB. YNAB is actually going over to our business account, and so the business will pay for it. We canceled my Kobo subscription, Netflix, Audible, Spotify. And then we tweaked a couple things, like our Apple one used to be like $45 a month. Now it's $28 a month or $30 or whatever it is. So yeah, I feel good about how this looks, about how that went. That's a drastic reduction. Now needs. I'm so proud of this, you guys. Our groceries, if I come over to our groceries in the budget, our groceries average spent is almost $1,000 a month. And before that, it was like $1,100 a month. And this month, bear with me while I refresh the page. I have the toolkit on for YNAB, and sometimes it gives me these weird errors. So groceries, we spent $634. $634 is what I spent for the whole month of January to feed a family of 4, and I feel really dang good about that. And we're in Canada, by the way, so I know a large portion of our audience is American, so that would be less than $500 US to feed our family. And groceries are stupid expensive right now. Oh, sorry, $650. Say $450 American US. Anyways, I think that was really good. Gas was pretty average. It's pretty on par. I feel like it was a bit on the high end, but a lot of the gas this month was like over $1.50 a liter. I don't know what that is per gallon. I think in the States it's per gallon. Cost per liter to cost per gallon. Oh, here we go. $1.51. Today's exchange rate. I think it's this one. So $4 a gallon is what it converts to. Yeah, I'm not in the GTA area, but in Alberta right now, it's like $1.54, I think is what I saw at the last gas station this morning. Typically we sit at about $1.30, but for whatever reason, it's $1.50 right now. Health and wellness. We were all really sick this month, so there was a lot of, antibiotics and cough syrup and throat lozenges and all kinds of things. So it is what it is. Parking, that was just parking at the hospital because I had to go get a CT scan done. Reimbursements, I'm not sure why we're short on that, but I'm not too worried about it. And then miscellaneous. So again, I feel pretty good about how that went. Wants, we did really good here as well. So I spent $170 because I had a bit of leftover money from December rolling into January. Cody spent $140. Dining out was $122. Typically we spend like $400 to $500 a month. Miscellaneous was $50. And entertainment was $118. Entertainment was high because it was Freya's birthday at the start of this month, and so we took her to see her very first movie in a movie theater. We took her to see Sonic 3, which she loved. And I'm going to flip back to the budget so you guys can kind of see the history on this and how truly impressive that is, because I feel really good about that. Again, average that I spend in a month is just over $400, and I spent $170. Cody's average is $160. He's pretty on par. He's a natural saver, whereas I'm a natural spender. Dining out, average $460. We spent $122. Miscellaneous spending, average $600 a month, and we spent $50. That's less than 10% of what we normally spend. And then this is pretty on par, but I'd like to get it down. I think my goal is, right now it's at $100 a month, and that just includes things like going to movies, movie rentals, games, stuff like that. I would like to eventually get it down, but with us canceling all of our subscriptions, it kind of makes sense for us to buy the movies and shows and games that we want instead of subscribing and essentially renting them indefinitely. Home maintenance was $40. That was just for some furnace filters. Christmas, this was the last of a Klarna payment that I had on something. We should not be using Klarna anymore. We're not, but it's on there. $72.99 for vehicle. I'm not actually sure what that is. I know we got a car wash, but it sure as heck did not cost $73. Oh, right. Okay, this looks weird in YNAB. It makes sense in the Budget Mom workbook, but we spent $13 on a car wash, and then I had $60 in cash that I moved out of the YNAB budget into a long-term savings envelope. Because for some of our cash envelopes, I have these guys. I have our home improvement fund in here and our vehicle maintenance fund, because that's what it got transferred to. I've got our month ahead fund, stuff like that. So I didn't want it sitting in the YNAB budget, because it was going to skew our numbers for age of money and stuff, because it's not money that we're spending or plan to spend. It's just, down the line when we need to spend it for something. I don't know. I might eventually put it back in the YNAB budget, but for now, I took it out because it's in cash and I didn't want to have to track it. Back to the budget. So Miss China Rose, which is our cat, that was $100. That was for litter and food and wet food. Gifts and birthdays was $77, and I feel like that was really good because we had three birthdays this month, technically 4. One of those birthdays is for twins. We had 4 birthdays this month, and then we have another 2 this Sunday. So 6 birthdays. And we only spent $77, so I'm okay with that. Shit happens, cash on hand. Again, we didn't spend this. It was just I took it out of the YNAB budget because it's sitting in a separate envelope. And now thinking about it, I'm like, maybe I should be leaving this in the budget in YNAB, because then when I go to spend the money, if shit happens or if the car needs maintenance, I'm going to have to show an inflow. So I'll go back and fix that later. And then our savings and investments, I'm also proud of this because I've been throughout the month, and maybe I should be showing this on camera more. Maybe I'll try to do it in February, but every week I would come into YNAB and I would look at what loose change do we have left in our categories. Like if a bill was paid and we budgeted $400 and it came out at $387, where could that $13 go to? Little subscriptions, stuff like that, where if, we still had a lot of money left in the grocery budget and I knew I wasn't going to need all of it, could I pull some of it out and put it into savings? So I did that. Every week I would go through and I would think, what can I set aside into savings? And so I wound up saving $130 this month. Obviously, we'd like that number to be a lot higher, but I'm still really happy with how that went. Total expenses was $7,900, putting us over budget by $1,000, again, because of that big bill that'll get taken care of next month. And that's it. That's how February went. So I feel really good about it. I think we have a lot of wins in here. The biggest one being our discretionary spending and our grocery budget being way down. And if I can carry that through 2025, I think that's going to do wonderful things for us. It'll be interesting to see how things play out with Freya and Gunnar coming home full time, because we're not going to have this expense anymore. However, the phantom cost of that is going to be the grocery bill will go up more because now they're eating at home more. Currently, daycare feeds them, breakfast, lunch, and a snack. So I anticipate the grocery budget to go up a little bit there, especially because they're both picky eaters. And also we're going to have to find things to fill our day with, right? So like going to indoor playgrounds while it's really cold out. Obviously in the summer that'll be less because we can just go to the regular parks, and just finding activities to do with the kids, homeschool groups, stuff like that. So I don't know if we're going to wind up net saving money or if we're going to net spend more money or if we're kind of going to break even on that, but it'll be interesting to see. And again, I'm really excited with how this year is going. I've got our little net worth tracker in here. Currently our net worth is negative $6,000, which again, I'm not worried about. In my forecasting, we should be positive and growing by probably mid-year, which will be great. And then the debt payoff planner, our current debt balance is $24,883. We are on track to be debt-free by next year, by January. So we got 11 months to go. No extra payments to debt this month and likely no extra payments to debt in February, but starting in March, we will have our regular $50 a month plus our quarterly carbon tax rebates and everything that we covered in our 2025 debt payoff plan. So I'm excited about that. I think next I'll probably do a flip through of the Budget Mom workbook and how I wrapped up the budget in there for January and opening into February. So if you guys want to see that, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you like this video, hit the like button. In Cody's words, if you didn't like it, dislike it twice. And I hope you're all doing wonderful and having a great week, and we will chat with you later. Bye!